The standard of living in America. Let's talk about it.
Hi, I'm Bree, and this is Broken America, where I show things most people wouldn't, but I know a lot of us are going through. Empty refrigerators because you couldn't afford groceries after paying the bills. Having to buy food you don't necessarily want to eat even though you know it's better than nothing. Keeping your thermostat off even if it's hot because you don't want the light bill to be high. Spending all your time at home after work and on weekends because you have no money to do anything. I remember a time in my life where I was able to start doing some things, but that time was only short-lived, as if it was just a dream. Now I only work, just to have all my money gone. Barely food in my stomach. Not living, but also barely surviving. If you can relate, you are not alone.
Dang. I will say this. She's not wrong. At all. Cost of living in America has absolutely skyrocketed over the past few years. Why? Well, because we've pumped trillions of dollars into our economy back whenever COVID happened. Now we're seeing the cause of that. And the biggest problem with this is, like she said, that's the norm right now. People are struggling. I talk to people all the time in my everyday life and through DMs and messages on my coaching calls. Everyone's struggling right now because of how expensive life has gotten in America. It's wild.
So we in America can't even afford to live anymore. This 1976 cost of living, the average income was $16,000. A home was $43,000. New car, $5,000. Rent, $220 per month. Just look at these prices. So based on that, they're saying that the average income should be what, $84,000 now? So that means that with $240,000, I should be able to buy a new house. It's not possible. And also the average income is not $84,000. You know, most people are making way less than that. $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, but it's not $84,000. And based on this, I should be able to get a new car. That's what? It says it would be like $5,000. So if my income is $80,000, a new car should be like $20,000, which most of the time they also are not. I mean, unless you're getting a value car. Also, if we're looking at this, your rent for the year should only be 15% of $6,000, which would be about $2,000 something dollars, which our rent is not 15% per year. It's like 30 or 40% per month. So yeah, something is definitely wrong. New car, nothing is adding up. So basically, we're not making enough to support what things cost, and it's a horrible thing.
Oh, you know what's wild about that? Is fast forward now to, the 20s. One of the largest line items on an everyday American family's budget is not listed on that piece of paper for the 1970s cost of living, and that's daycare, childcare. If you guys, both you and your spouse, are working and have to have childcare, it is absolutely mind-blowing to me how much that cost. And when you look at these line items on the budget, just from like what that was, I mean, looking at what a new car cost, that is, I mean, it was $4,500. A typical new car now, depending on what you're buying, but like a decent, nice new car is going to cost you $40,000. I would say $35,000, $40,000. New house, your down payment on some of these homes isn't even worth can't even get you, $43,000. Now, depending on what your down payment is, you guys get what I'm saying though. I mean, the difference here from 1976 to 2025 is a pretty massive difference. And unfortunately, I think the only way around this is that we're going to have to have something bad is going to have to happen for this economy to slow down. Now, when I'm filming this video may come out a little bit, so I may be a little bit behind on this, but Jerome Powell spoke the other day. He's, chair of the Fed, and he mentioned that they are looking at potentially open to cutting rates in September due to the labor market. If you guys have been a long viewer of my channel, you know that is the one data point that I'm watching and have been watching for a very long time now, is when that starts to spike or when people start getting worried about unemployment or the labor market or what jobs are looking like, that's when I'm going to starting to get worried. Now, the stock market exploded. Jerome Powell came out saying they're going to be cutting rates, exploded. Real estate may have a big boom here coming up pretty soon too, with the lower rates coming. A lot more buyers are probably going to come out of the woodworks, which could send real estate prices higher. That's the other crazy part of this. And me being a mortgage broker, like, I hear it all the time in conversations of people waiting on the sidelines, just waiting for rates to drop. So if rates really do cut and we do see mortgage rates drop, it's going to be, we thought home prices already weren't affordable. They're gonna continue to climb because now more people can buy more. I just don't know. How long can it last? And are we back like we were 100 years ago? We're living through the roaring 20s, and the 30s are going to be a complete shit show? Yikes.
This one is for my New Yorkers out there. How are you guys affording this? How are you doing it? What kind of income do you need as a single person or as a couple in order to be able to purchase and live comfortably in New York City? We're going to be here for a couple of weeks, and thankfully we have a rental available. We are currently staying in the West Village. My husband and I each make over 6 figures, and if we wanted to live here, we could not afford the rent in this property, much less buy it. Now, maybe if we sold off some of our properties, like I have some investment properties, he has a house, maybe we could come up with the money to purchase. But even if we did, it would be a 2-bedroom home, no backyard, ridiculous HOA, and on top of that, everything else is so expensive. How are you guys doing it?
I mean, I feel like that's in every high cost living area. For those of you that don't know, I used to live in Florida. We lived there for, a little over a year. It was like a year and a half, I think we lived there. We almost purchased a home, the whole 9 yards. We were going to call Florida home. And ultimately, we wanted to come back to Missouri to be closer to family, but also Florida is expensive. Like, it's very expensive, especially with the recent rise in cost of home prices, which I know they're kind of falling down now. But the home price increase, the insurance increase, and this everything down there, I feel like is just double the price from what it here is in Missouri. And so I understand that. The New Yorkers, the Californians, the Floridians, I get it. Like, I've lived it, I've seen it, I understand it. And yes, like she said, I don't know how people are doing it. I really don't. I mean, it's getting tough here in Missouri for just, regular people and cost of living. It's hard. So when you have living in somewhere where you're making the same wage, but everything's double or triple the amount in cost, I could see how people are literally on a week from saying screw it to everything and not being able to afford life. Not even being able to live paycheck to paycheck. I got a buddy of mine, the OGs of the channel, you're going to know who I'm talking about. Good old Brad Finn. Buddy of mine, fellow YouTuber, and he lives in New York. Every year he sends me his property tax bill. It's wild. Absolutely wild. And it just makes me thank God for the Midwest. I will say that. I love the Midwest. I also love the Midwest culture and people, but like, our cost of living here is hard to beat. We may not have the sexiest cities and the coolest places to visit and go see, but damn, our cost of living and our lifestyle, it's not bad.
If you're living in the US, here's a serious question for you. How are you affording to exist? Because in the last month alone, my 1-year-old and I have spent almost $1,000 on healthcare bills just for like checkups, drop-in visits, because my daycare requires a note from my doctor if she gets sick for her to come back. Each one of those visits is like $100. I'm paying for insurance. That's not even including what my husband pays for his insurance. I think he pays like $300. So really it's like $1,300. Not to mention the fact that yesterday I went to the dentist. I go to the dentist twice a year. I got a new dentist because I moved, and he does the x-rays, takes all the pictures and all that, tells me all my fillings need to be replaced. Every single one, including the crown I have, needs to be replaced. $3,000. How are we affording this?
Now, first, anytime a dentist tells you you need to get every single filling replaced, go get a second opinion with a different dentist. Next, I'm not going to spend too long on this. I always say it. I just need to buckle down and do it. But I know the videos are really probably not going to get many views. But I really want to put together a video talking about the health insurance, state of health insurance here in America. It is complete, excuse my language, dog shit. It's absolutely ridiculous what we have to go through for people who pay insurance. Guys, I got a bill the other day, and it was way more than what we were expecting. My wife called, and she's like, hey, what's going on with this bill? Blah, 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 blah. It was back when we had our old insurance, and we said we were going to do a pay out of pocket because it was like half the cost to pay out of pocket. And they said, oh, well, technically, since you had insurance on file, you can't do pay out of pocket. You have to go through your insurance. And I look at that and I'm like, I don't understand how I have to get billed more and pay more on top of me paying for my insurance when I could just say, screw it, I'm not even going to be insured, and I'll just pay out of pocket and save half the money if I would have just done it with through my insurance. It doesn't make any sense. And the amount of money these insurance companies are bringing in is wild. And then the amount that people can charge, it's dare I say it, but I feel like there's just something internally that's going on that feels like scammy to me. And I wish the insurance world could go private. That's what I wish. I wish the market could choose how insurance was going to work, who we could pick for our insurance, and we could shop different insurance companies. I understand there's Obamacare, but that's a whole nother conversation. There's a lot to unpack here if you can't tell. And that's one thing I hate about America is the healthcare system. I really don't like it. And I'm a proud American. I am not proud of our healthcare system.
I am so scared for us American people. Like, if the bills keep rising the way that they do, how are we gonna live? Like, you can't live off minimum wage. There's no damn way. My electric bill is $150. I'm never home. So what's it gonna be next year? $200, $300, $400? Rent, thankfully, I have cheap rent. But some people I know are paying like $1,200, $1,500, $2,000 a month. That's insane. Like, I'm scared for like my generation of people and my children. Like, my son, how much is rent gonna be when he's old enough? $4,000? Something's gotta give, because there's no way that we can continue to live this way. Like, us normal people. No way. Who are bringing home $600 a week. And your rent is 2 paychecks. You still have car, gas, groceries, electric, internet, blah, 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 blah. There's no way. Something's gonna happen. Like, we need to, like, protest bills. Stop fucking paying them. Evict us. Stop going to work. Now the government's not getting tax money. Like, the economy's gotta fall. Because otherwise, everyone's just gonna be homeless.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. I feel for Gen Z right now. You guys were dealt a pretty crappy hand of cards, I'm not gonna lie. There was a video I was watching when I was looking through these clips, and there was a girl that was stating her and a coworker lived in the same area. I think she even said the same subdivision, and he bought his house back in like 2017 or 18. His mortgage payment was like $1,200 or something like that. And then she said she just recently bought her house like in 2023, I believe it was, or 2024. And her mortgage payment was $4,000. Now, there may be a difference of how much down payment they put. There's a whole bunch of stuff that goes into that. Obviously, interest rates are higher now, but think about that for a second. Same subdivision, 5-6 years apart, and the mortgage payment is almost 4 times more than just buying 6 years ago or whatever it is. That's not sustainable with how fast this cost of living has risen. Like she said, something's got to give. It's just when and what.
I am homeless living here in my car, even though I work often 50 to 60 hours every single week by doing food deliveries and grocery deliveries. I walk dogs and I pick up other gig work. It just isn't enough to afford rent, which is now $1,800 per month for a 1-bedroom apartment. And this is for most of America, and some states are even higher than that. So this is where I live. This is my little home. And
unfortunately, I believe the longer that this goes on, this rising cost of living, the more that's going to start happening to everyday people. I think that this is going to, maybe not necessarily the new norm, but I do think, unfortunately, people living out of cars or building, living the van life or whatever it is they got to do to get by, that may be the norm for a while until we figure out how to get this cost of living under control, because it really is nuts right now. I mean, me going, my wife shopping for groceries or taking the kids just like out to eat, or if we get like run through McDonald's or something real quick. I mean, even McDonald's has gotten out of hand. I mean, sometimes I go get, we'll get like a burger somewhere. It's $20 for one meal per person. That's wild. And I really think a lot more people are probably going to have to, unfortunately, go to this lifestyle until times get better. Which, who the hell knows when that's going to happen?
Man, I just saw a video of somebody talking about how this generation is cooked from the beginning. We're the only generation that can't afford housing, bro. We can't afford a home, no matter how much you try. You have to be ultra successful. You have to be an entrepreneur to afford a home in this day and age. You can't do it with your minimum wage job, and you definitely can't do it with your 20 an hour job. Like, think about that, bro. We can't even afford a home, and they want us to worry about what's going on in America. I can't even concentrate on what's going on when my life has been cooked from the beginning.
I'll say it again. This is the hardest time, maybe besides the Great Depression, for sure. The Great Depression was tough, and who knows, we may be freaking heading there, I don't know. But for the newer generation coming out, getting their life started, what a crappy time to get started. I mean, like the guy said, like, you do have to be making a crap ton of money, because let's say you're probably coming out with student loan debt, and then you have all of these homes that have quadrupled in price over the past 5-10 years. It's like, how do you even get started, right? Like, you're literally trying to survive. Groceries are at, all-time highs. Like, I will say this, though. There is a way. I don't want to lean on the victim mentality. I am just saying that I do think this is a very hard time versus many previous generations for Gen Z to get started and get ahead. We look back at the boomers when you could, buy a house for pennies and nickels. Not that extreme, but seriously though, like, we looked at the 1976 cost of living. A house was 40 grand, 50 grand. And wages really haven't increased significantly like the cost of buying a home has over the years. So yes, this newer generation has a very hard time, but I don't want to leave that, and I don't want the new generation to take that as a crutch and turn into this victim mentality. Because I've said this too, there are ways. You may have to eat crap for a lot longer than other generations, and that does suck. The thing here is you don't want to live the sexy lifestyle. Like, try to get yourself set up. Don't go out, buy the brand new car, going out every single weekend. Like, stay home, save your money. Yes, it's not going to be the most fun thing to do, but this is your grind phase. And unfortunately, you're grinding in the not best of times, but that's the hand you were dealt. You just got to roll with it. There's no other way around it. This is what it is. You got to deal with it.
How everyone's telling us, like, you just need therapy, like, you're depressed, and it's like, no, we're broke. Because why is everything so fucking expensive? Like, I moved to a different city, my auto insurance went up like $20. I don't know why. I called them and I was like, why did this go up? And she was trying to figure it out, and I was like, I also need to update my address because I just moved. And she goes, okay, with your address updated, you live in a higher risk area now. Surprise. So she said it's going up $120 a month. I was going to figure out why it went up $20, and then she made it go up more. And I said, please don't do that, I can't afford it. And she said, I can't change it. And we're not depressed, we're broke. We're broke.
Ugh. It's tough to see it, guys, because, like, I do these searches looking for these clips, and it's all over. People are struggling every single day. Some people are literally one emergency away from everything just falling under. It's scary right now. It really is. And that's why it's so important, guys, that we are managing our finances correctly. You have to have an emergency fund. You have to have a stack of cash in a high yield savings account. I have a high yield cash account I recommend to people. It's public down below in the description. Link in the description if you guys want to check it out. I'll try to pin a comment as well. Have your money stashed somewhere that's earning interest in a high yield savings account. Next, we have to get rid of the debt. And we have to take extra jobs, work 2-3 jobs until you can get rid of the debt, have all the extra income from the other 2 jobs going directly towards the debt to pay it off faster. Work like a dog until you can get rid of that debt, because that is one of the biggest pullbacks, holdbacks financially that people deal with on the daily is debt. Get rid of the consumer debt, guys. Get rid of it. It's going to make your life so much better. Next, beef up that emergency fund a little bit. Once you got about 3 to 6 months in there worth of cash, that if you lost your job, you could live off that cash for literally 6 months, you're doing all right. Then we're going to start investing a lot more. Putting more in our 401ks, our Roth IRAs, our brokerage accounts. We may buy some real estate. You just got to slowly work at it. It's a marathon, guys. It's not a sprint.